Hello art students! This video is going to demonstrate how to create mixed media bones, focusing on positive and negative space. You will need skeleton reference photos, watercolor paper, a pencil, a ruler, oil pastels, and watercolor paints and a brush for this project. This lesson is inspired by bones paintings created by artist Georgia O'Keeffe, as well as a lesson found by Inside Out art teacher on Teachers Pay Teachers. She created the reference image that I'm going to use for my demonstration, as well as some other wonderful resources. To begin, the first thing you need to do is grid your photo and your paper. On your watercolor paper, which is 8 inches by 8 inches wide, you will need to place a mark at the 4-inch points along the top edge, through the center, and along the bottom edge of your paper. Then turn your ruler and along the right and left sides of your paper, mark the 4-inch points again. You will then, drawing lightly, connect your dots to create a grid of 4 equal-sized squares, and then write your name and block on the back of your paper. Next, you'll choose your reference image. We'll have a variety to choose from. Decide the one you want and use the grid to lightly draw the negative spaces seen between your bones. This means you want to focus on the black shapes, not the white shapes of your bones. Take your time and really focus on this part, and when you're finished, carefully erase the grid. We will continue to use our reference photo as we move on to the next step, which is where we're going to add color using oil pastels. So first, choose 3 analogous or similar oil pastel colors. Using your reference photo, color your bones using gradients to show the form. While we're not using realistic colors, we want the bones to still appear three-dimensional. We'll look at bones painted by Georgia O'Keeffe in class. Blend your pastels by layering them. You don't need to use your finger at all. I even like to add white to bring the center forward and to highlight my bones, and that also helps blend them as well. One tip for you is to begin by outlining your bones first with one of your darker valued analogous colors. Look at your reference photo and see if you can spot some other areas inside your bones to add some darker values. When you're ready to go in with your lighter color, you're going to want to blend and extend the darker outline into the center using circular motions as you layer the colors. You're going to notice that your pastel will pick up some of the other colors, so just be aware of that and clean it off if necessary. Continue using your 3 chosen analogous colors, blending so that the color is darkest on the outside edges of each bone and then rounding it forward so that it gets lighter and brighter towards the center of the bones. This will make them look as three-dimensional as possible. Of course, also look for additional areas that can be shaded more using your photo reference. The next step will be to watercolor the negative space. You will need water and a paintbrush for this, and you might want to use some experimental techniques involving plastic wrap and salt. Oil and water resist, so you can paint freely, knowing that the paint will not cover up those oil pastel bones. Use the wet-on-wet technique to allow your colors to mix, and try to use colors that are contrasting with the colors used for your bones. You can put plastic wrap or salt on while your paper is wet and let that dry. Or, if you choose to, you can try some other techniques involving splattering or layering. Just have fun with your background. After drawing and coloring your bones with control, now you can have some freedom with your watercolor paint. Be mindful of the amount of water that is pooling on your paper, and if you do choose to add salt or saran wrap before letting it dry, make sure you add these things on very wet areas only. If you have any pooling of water occurring on your paper, make sure to blot that up prior to putting your painting on the drying rack, or else it will run. I really hope you enjoyed creating this mixed media project, as well as learning about artist Georgia O'Keeffe and how to create a grid drawing focusing on positive and negative spaces. Teachers looking for more helpful resources and lesson plans should check out Inside Out Art Teacher on Teachers Pay Teachers. Thanks for watching. Bye!